The opulent ballroom is filled with the lively chatter of New York's elite. Jeremiah Hamilton, bedecked in a tailored suit that screams affluence, strolls through the crowd with an air of confidence that turns heads. He spots a salty white cracker, adorned in a stiff suit, glaring from across the room. Intrigued, Hamilton decides to engage.
Good evening. Quite the gathering, wouldn't you say?
A gathering for respectable folks, not everyone.
Hamilton raises an eyebrow, amused by the salty remark.
My dear friend, I believe you're implying something about me.
Your particular flavor isn't common in places like these.
Hamilton, unfazed, pulls out a gold pocket watch and checks the time.
Time is money, isn't it? Let me share a secret with you.
Hamilton leans in, his voice dripping with swagger.
I've dined with the wealthiest, outfoxed the shrewdest, and, my friend, I'm the man who sued Vanderbilt just for the thrill of it. Why? Because, my friend, people like you believe the world's built for the likes of you. I relish the moment that smug grin of yours fades, those thin lips pressed together so tightly, it's as if they should have never opened in the first place.
Hamilton takes a sip of champagne, his eyes challenging the salty bigot.
I own palatial estates, note the plural, ships, yachts, and I've spat out wine more expensive than your entire wardrobe. You didn't just misread the book by its cover, you've misjudged the entire library by its foyer.
Well, I never.
Well, that's abundantly clear. You never imagined a black man owning the ground you walk on, the air you breathe, let alone towering estates and the finest luxuries money can buy. You see, my good sir, you never imagined I'd be the one dictating the chapters of my own life, penning a story you never dreamed a man like me could write. So here's a piece of advice. Before you judge a book, make sure you know how to read. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have places to be and wealth to amass, far beyond the limitations of your narrow imagination.
And there, amidst the echoes of Hamilton's defiance, the unyielding truth hung in the air like a charged current. For Jeremiah Hamilton, the first black Wall Street pioneer, had not only amassed wealth that defied the prejudiced norms of his time, but had done so with a brashness and audacity that rendered those who dared underestimate him utterly defeated. In the annals of history, Jeremiah Hamilton's story stands as a testament to the irrepressible spirit that has always been the heartbeat of black excellence. What's crackin', History fam? It's your boy, the Project Professor, aka Hood Historian, and today we're diving into the vaults of the real OG of Wall Street scams, Jeremiah Hamilton. We're talking real paper, real hustle, and real swagger. Let's roll. Picture this, New York City, mid-19th century, when Wall Street was the kingdom of the elite and black folks weren't exactly rolling in with a VIP pass. But then comes Jeremiah Hamilton, the unsung hero, crashing this exclusive party like he owns the place. Hamilton was often referred to as the Prince of Darkness by his contemporaries on Wall Street, a nickname he embraced with flair. Hamilton wasn't just playing checkers, he was running chess on these Wall Street suits. Mortgage scams, insurance fraud, he had the whole playbook. And remember, this was when brothers were still getting side-eyed for just breathing on Wall Street. Jeremiah, though? Fearless with it. Despite racial prejudice, Hamilton amassed a fortune equivalent to millions in today's dollars, showing that financial genius knows no color. Unlike Caesar Pina and DJ Envy, Jeremiah Hamilton made white clients do his bidding. He allegedly bought insurance policies on ships he purposely destroyed. JH was accused of orchestrating the first recorded case of life insurance fraud in the United States. He allegedly insured slaves he did not own and collected when they died. Rumors of counterfeiting and scams against insurance companies dogged him until he died, but his financial acumen was so renowned that even prominent white businessmen sought his advice, making him a clandestine figure in the highest echelons of New York society. My man wasn't just about the grind, he was about to shine too. Imagine this, black folks catching shade and, for the most part, subjected to fighting for scraps with the Irish and Jewish immigrants of the city. Then here comes Hamilton strolling through Manhattan in a carriage pulled by 4 white horses. Bold moves when most brothers were dodging bricks, right? He wasn't just about horses and carriages either. Hamilton was one of the first black Americans to own a yacht, flaunting his success on the high seas. Hamilton was the first African American to own a house in Greenwich Village, defying societal norms and making a bold statement. His flashy lifestyle also included owning a mansion in New Jersey, aptly named Hamilton House, where he hosted extravagant soirees, challenging racial norms. Homie had the audacity to live large in a time when most brothers were struggling just to survive. Hamilton's legal battles were as legendary as his financial exploits. He took on the notorious Cornelius Vanderbilt and won. He also once sued a white-owned Broadway omnibus company for expelling him due to his race, and he won the case, securing a victory for civil rights. But here's the gem: Hamilton wasn't just securing the bag for himself. No, he was breaking bread with other black entrepreneurs, challenging the system, making Wall Street his stomping ground. Despite facing discrimination, Hamilton formed alliances with other black entrepreneurs like Robert Campbell, creating a network of financial power. It wasn't just about the dollars, it was about proving a point. Hamilton was a philanthropist, contributing to charities and institutions that supported the black community, leaving a legacy beyond his financial exploits. Hamilton first came to prominence in 1828 after hiding out in a fishing boat for multiple days in the Port-au-Prince harbor in Haiti and eventually escaping the Haitian authorities. They had discovered he was transporting counterfeit coins to Haiti reportedly for a group of New York merchants. In absentia, he was sentenced to be shot. The ship he had chartered, named the Eliza Jane, was confiscated by the port officials. Hamilton claimed he had escaped with $5,000 of the counterfeit coin. Almost a decade later, after the 1835 Great Fire of New York destroyed most of the buildings on the southeast tip of Manhattan, Hamilton accrued about $5 million in today's money by what the New York Times wrote as, quote,
taking pitiless advantage of several of the fire victims' misfortunes.
His business practices were controversial, where most black entrepreneurs sold their goods to other blacks.
Hamilton cut a swath through the lily-white New York business world of the mid to 1830s, a domain where his depredations soon earned him the nickname of the Prince of Darkness,
wrote the Times. Soon thereafter, he used about $7 million to buy up a substantial amount of land and property in modern-day Astoria and Poughkeepsie. Hamilton would go on to clash with Cornelius Vanderbilt, the famous American industrialist, over control of the Accessory Transit Company. Although he circulated among the financial elite and was himself very wealthy, Hamilton was also a victim of the racism against African Americans so pervasive during his time. During the New York City draft riots in 1863, the mob consisting of broke white men used the anarchy as a perfect opportunity to quench their jealous thirst by paying old nigger Hamilton, as they called him, a visit. Seeking to lynch Hamilton for no other reason than being an affluent black man, they broke into his house, but were turned away with only liquor, cigars, and an old suit by his wife Eliza after she said her husband was not home. Eliza Hamilton was white, which made her marriage to Jeremiah taboo for the time. As much as my man Hamilton was a legend, he eventually met his match. Hamilton's decline was as dramatic as his rise. He filed for bankruptcy, marking the end of an era for the flamboyant financier. Despite his fall from grace, Hamilton's impact on Wall Street and the fight for black economic empowerment left an indelible mark on history. His death in 1875 attracted national attention, and scores of newspapers reported that Hamilton was the richest non-white man in the country and that his estate was worth about $2 million, or about $250 million today. Challenging the system, balling against all odds, and showing that we belong anywhere we damn well please. As you can imagine, this fact left Hamilton not well liked by most whites of the time.
The notorious colored capitalist, long identified with commercial enterprises in this city,
one obituary spat,
is dead and buried.
There is no known surviving image of Jeremiah Hamilton. As biographer Shane White has reasoned, Hamilton almost certainly did have photographs taken, and quite likely commissioned a painting, but if any likenesses have survived, they are probably catalogued under miscellaneous or as subject unknown. And there you have it, Jeremiah Hamilton, the black maestro of Wall Street, living large against all odds. Stay tuned for more untold tales on Trap History Channel. It's your boy, the Project Professor, signing off.
For instance, the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself, and because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man. And we who follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad are taught that the same thing that the white man has done for himself and his kind, if our people could if we could be cured of our slave mentality that was indoctrinated into us during slavery, we would realize that just as the white man can do these things for himself and his kind, we can get together in unity and harmony and do the same thing for ourselves and our kind.